Surprise.
We're doing another COD game, but I promise this one hits different. I mean, just listen to this music. Doesn't that bring you back to all the war movies you used to watch back when there were 2 or 3 every year? Or some strange island where you atone for your past sins? Yeah, I thought this music sounded familiar, so I looked up the composer, and wouldn't you know it, it was Hall of Famer Michael Giacchino. Dialogue and straight-up scenes weren't a normal thing back in 2003. Having these journals open up our missions not only catches us up on where we are in the story and what the mission is, but it harkens to the individual soldier. There are thousands of these types of journals from World War II that you can read that place you directly in the mind of the soldier who wrote it, and we see this even more later on.
All right, listen up. Private Martin, you're on the obstacle course and doing weapons training today.
Yo, you're kidding. I really need to cover these games in order. You're telling me that Steve Tank Dempsey Blum has been a part of COD from the very first game? Getting our Halo Combat Evolved inspirations in early, I see. And these signs aren't just cute window dressing. This is actually Infinity Ward flexing their new goals with this first Call of Duty game codenamed Medal of Honor Killer. Not very subtle. Their new AI systems were a focus and highlight of the original COD. More on this later. The irony of Private Elder isn't lost on me.
They got your sorry butt here too, huh?
Did little bro in the back just eat it? You could tell from the camp of this camp that Infinity Ward is wanting to bring a levity to training that you will never find on the battlefield. I'm actually so impressed with this clamber animation. What the hell? Why does this 2003 game look better than some of my 2025 animations? I want to say this is just a joke from the company and Private Bell's doing okay and didn't get his rung, but again, we're seeing that they got jokes here and trying to capture the Band of Brothers vibe. And if you want to sleep as well as Private Bell is, then you need Mantis Sleep. Mantis Sleep has hands down been the best thing that has come my way for quality of life improvements. I use the Mantis Sleep Pro mask every night. As a side sleeper, the Pro is especially designed for this purpose. But there's also the regular sleep mask for the all-round sleepers, a mask with built-in earbuds to block out noise, or even their silk mask for those of you that want something to match your row when you walk down your spiral staircase with the glass in your hand, pretending that you're the innocent one in the Clue mystery. Too deep a cut. Anyways, these masks have been especially helpful as I'm already asleep when my partner gets home and she doesn't have to worry a lick about turning on any lights. They're super lightweight, breathable, and most of all comfortable. After breaking it in, the mask just morphs onto my head and I don't even realize I'm wearing it. And they're super compact, easily rolled up and tossed into a bag to bring on airplanes, to the in-laws, or my favorite, camping trips. I've collected these masks like they're freaking Infinity Stones and would 100% try any new one that they drop. Join me in the ProNap movement as working 2 jobs, Lord knows I need it, and Mantis Sleep is perfect for that midday shut-eye. I 100% recommend and encourage you try out Mantis Sleep, as I can guarantee you will not regret it. Use my code in the description or pinned comment gaming to get 10% off your order, and finally be able to go night-night. This was actually one of the most evolutionary things that COD popularized in the FPS genre. Aiming down sight wasn't as common back then. Halo 1 didn't have it on all but a few weapons, Quake would never, and Medal of Honor didn't, so Infinity Ward had to take a shot at doing something that could give them an edge over that franchise. Funny that this entire game exists as like breakup revenge gym physique. What I mean is that Infinity Ward was founded and made up of ex-2015 Inc. Medal of Honor developers who left the studio because of EA. EA is like war. Never changes. Anyway, they left due to EA wanting too much control and wanted to make Call of Duty to be the killer of Medal of Honor. And unlike most games that said it's going to be a insert game killer, this one actually did it. The sad part of this tale is that after this game got hot, they realized too late that they just traded in one controlling partner for another in Activision. Yes, some Infinity Ward devs got fed up and left Infinity Ward to form Respawn, and do you know where that landed them? Back with EA. Isn't life just the silliest thing ever? What are we talking about? Yeah, ADS. Not only does it raise the skill floor whenever we get to multiplayer, but it puts us more into the boots of our soldiers. We, aim with our gun, and now it's expected to be able to aim. This is so natural and ubiquitous now that when I was a kid, I grew up on Modern Warfare 2 and beyond for about 4 years before ever playing a Halo game, and I was confused and disgusted that aim down sight wasn't really a thing in that game, because COD had just got it so right.
On H-Hour D-Day, Seaborne Infantry will attack 5 beaches, codenamed Utah, Omaha.
Wow, the pre-mission briefings I praise in the Modern Warfare games are present off rip. I honestly get a deeper appreciation for the formula seeing its roots and kind of like knowing what I'm getting with each COD campaign.
The Pathfinders, like Private Martin, will be dropped ahead of the main force and will plant beacons on the ground to mark the landing zones.
I like that they threw out the name of our PC in there for us to understand how we ourselves fit into this plan.
However, there's no telling what will happen once we're on the ground. So I want all of you to learn the objectives of every unit in both the 101st and 82nd.
So that would explain how after the drop and all companies were fractured, everyone was able to cobble together groups of men and still execute the objectives. It's just Band of Brothers. Like, yes, France is France, and when both are doing realistic depictions of this time in history, they're going to look similar, but I don't know. Even down to the way they've lit the level brings me back to the barn scene with Bull. This was the thing that made World War II so different from World War I. World War II was fought in smaller skirmishes in cities and towns among people's homes who were either recently or still trying to live there. There weren't defined battle lines that all the action took place in, and I love just how untouched this home is, reminding us of that. And another reminder that war can come down to who's the unlucky one. There is nothing fair about conflict like this, and though COD 1 focuses on the triumph of the Allied powers and the bravery and grit of those soldiers, we do get moments like this that remind us of just how horrible it was. Spend the last months of your life training for the mission just to get stuck in a tree and then caught by the Germans minutes into your first mission, likely unable to even grow facial hair yet. Though this game is over 20 years old, it still really holds up. Not only in its gameplay, but its presentation. COD the first is just oozing an atmosphere that no other COD game has. Yes, I know some of it is coming from that old school liminal vibe that we associate with older titles, but storming these homes with our crew dropping in and aircraft overhead and explosions going off, I slept on these older games because they got so much going for them. Notice the little line in there noting the minefields. Yes, those existed, but definitely not in the obvious way used here to wall in our levels. I still like it as a diegetic reason to find those mines boxing us in.
Alright guys, get set to move. On my command.
And another big innovation COD brought to these shooters was squad-based combat. This isn't GoldenEye, yet, Medal of Honor or Doom, where you'll find yourself as the lone gunman. We've got a team here that we can rely on to help us fight. Or watch them round the corner first because I haven't found a health pack in a while and it's not looking great. Still, another notch in the belt and getting us closer to that Band of Brothers World War II vibe of brotherhood and bravery. Love how we can hit the deck. Not exactly a dolphin dive, nor is it from stand, crouch, then prone. We just drop, and it's a neat precursor that for some reason left us for a few games. And there's something about the level design here that still feels exquisite. Though this is Entry 1, they are still professionals and are able to develop levels that flow beautifully without disrupting the immersion of this is an actual town that existed. Throw on a coat of paint from COD World War II, and these levels play just as well as any modern COD, which is either a compliment to this game or a dig on modern COD's lack of innovation.
We'll redeploy those German machine guns, setting up a defensive perimeter. Keep your guard up and your buddies in mind.
Using all the resources available to you. I like it.
Keep your guard up and your buddies in mind. Good work.
Love keeping our buddies in mind. This war is paramount to win, but never lose sight of their fellow man next to them. And our war/life quotes are an OG feature as well, back when it actually meant something and made you somewhat reflect between missions. Which I don't want to say that's when COD was at its best, that being to make us reflect on war, that's never really been its MO, but COD at its most authentic, where it respected where it came from and knew what it was. Nowadays, with the Black Ops 7 trailer, I fear COD is having a full-blown identity crisis.
Incoming! Orders! Incoming!
You know, honestly, I don't know what I expected.
Go have a look.
Right, Captain.
Got it.
We all knew it was going to happen, but damn am I going to remember Johnson forever. Perfect example of squad combat actually mattering. I was about to get mollywopped by this German. MGs can actually pin you down how they're supposed to, especially in the harder difficulties. You better keep that head down. COD 1 wears its inspirations on its sleeve without shame. These levels feel directly lifted not only from Band of Brothers Carentan, but also Saving Private Ryan's assault on the MG nest. And the American campaign is where Infinity Ward really gets to show off what they want to achieve with this game. Squad-based combat with reactive enemy AI that plays differently every playthrough. We take it for granted nowadays, and it's kinda industry standard, but at the time, COD was attempting to push boundaries, believe it or not, with its AI systems. Or trying to catch up to Halo 1, depending on how you want to look at it. But we're all about the love here, so I'm gonna tip my hat to Infinity Ward.
I can't believe we're doing this.
Believe it, unless you sprout wings and want to fly. It's only 6 miles, Private. Just shut up and do your job.
Just doing the job, following orders. I don't know how these men did it, but it still amazes me. Everyone has a story from this time. One of the more interesting anecdotes I've heard about the war was someone asking their grandfather where he was during the war and just said, 50 yards from Easy Company doing the exact same thing. You could follow anyone in this time and find stories of heroism, triumph, and sacrifice. This is classic COD right here. How many more times in this franchise do we have car chase scenes? Should have thrown this in the list of turret sections, stealth levels, and snow. And it's as action movie as it gets, being chased by so many Germans and making it out by the skin of your teeth. And again, this whole sequence feels so crisp and clean and holds up extremely well.
I gotta go report in to Major Shepard and get our orders.
Be careful what you tell him, might leave you in a boneyard. Many of these wins feel like authenticity wins, and if I make any mistakes, please correct me down below. But just the fact that our company is being tasked with taking out this artillery battery, outnumbered and outgunned, is incredible. It doesn't matter that this entire situation is porked. Our allies need help, and we are the only ones that can do it. So they do. I love these journal entries so much as the framing device for these levels. Oh, so we really are just remaking Band of Brothers. I mean, I don't mind it. It was a great show and great here in the game. Sergeant Moody going out in the field of fire and recovering this man when the medic went down is what it's all about. Loved Sergeant Moody. To finally being on the opposite side of the MG is such a great feeling, especially considering Infinity Ward didn't care one bit about overheating, ammo, or nothing. Just shoot. The mission and the manner is masterfully made, making me mutter muses of merriment. Sorry, I was having a bit too much fun there. The manner level is pretty neat, shaking up the visuals that we're used to seeing in World War II. Indiana Jones reference.
Stand back, we're gonna blow them!
I know we've been away from our wives for some time, Foley, but don't know if you can legally give consent with the language barrier.
Well, goodness me, Americans.
Bro, what? Captain Price is just Captain Price? Never knew they just ripped the classic character from the first game and made him the face of Infinity War campaigns. And here we get our first reference from A Bridge Too Far. Another classic war film. I mean, just look at that red beret. In a modern COD, this would for sure be our first stealth mission, but that's not really an option in the older games, so gate smash it is! This level exposes once again the goal of COD 1. This is a German camp, and there isn't nary a reference to the atrocities that occurred in them. If I didn't know any better, I'd venture to guess Ingram had a good time there with how chipper he is when we picked him up.
Our task, along with the rest of the 6th Airborne Division, is to secure that flank at all costs, by capturing and holding key bridges along the axis of approach.
I love how our first two campaigns here are both framed from the Airborne Division and securing the left and right flank of the beachhead. Though we aren't in the thick of it, our actions here feel paramount to securing a foothold in the war effort. I very much enjoy how the campaigns feed into each other. As we're rescuing the British officers, we move into a company led by them. After losing Captain Price, we move into the Russian campaign to be shown what real loss is.
D Company's objective is this bridge over the Caen Canal.
It really is just 3 movies put into game form with some add-ons. We've got the classic A Bridge Too Far here, where most of the British campaign derives from. Oh, how far we've come from these simple, low-key crashes to COD World War II train go boom scene. And this is what I was really getting at earlier with these journal entries bringing a lot of personality and life to our player characters. Seeing the scribbled out and updated mission plans shows the fluidity of war and how no laid plan survives contact with the enemy.
Several Panzerfausts which are woefully inaccurate.
Funny because the Panzerfaust was like the candy corn of weaponry for the Germans toward the end. Mass-produced, kinda ass, but got the job done. They say this weapon had a range of 30 to 100 meters, but it really is more like 7 to 15. A fun jab they threw in that builds up the world. Many of these vignettes we get throughout the missions really just serve to get the vibe of World War II. Which is also somewhat aided by the fog of war ever present in these older games. This helps hide the smaller render distance available to older games, but enhances the vibe of a smoky war-torn town. The music suggests a Pyrrhic victory, and when it took over as reinforcements were set to arrive, I'd be lying if it didn't hype me up a bit. Michael Giacchino really never misses, and so happy to see him getting more and more recognition these days. Love the 1984 energy.
They were highly recommended for this operation as a result of their actions on D-Day. Captain Price, Sergeant Evans, welcome to 3 Troop. Now, let's
See everyone, this is your reward for a job well done. More work. From fighting to preserve the world order to pencil pushing in the office. Everything's the same, right? Becky slacking in the office making you near tyrannical, don't it?
timer, then get the hell out of there by truck to a nearby airfield and appropriate suitable air transport from the enemy.
It really was just make it work and figure it out. To continue the office metaphor, you think you have it bad when your higher-ups seem to just make things up as they go and nothing makes sense? Try war. Go blow up this dam and figure out how to get the hell out of there. Hope they got a spare plane for you. But they make it sound official. Appropriate suitable transport from the enemy. Sure, yeah. Let's revisit that initiative in the next quarter and conduct a thorough evaluation of our strategic options before moving forward next time, Sarge. Or simply put, fuck that. Now, this level is a highlight of COD 1. The scale alone is just so impressive. I think I've really underestimated this older title as I constantly was surprised by the scale and modern features found here. Yeah, Common Evolved came out 2 years prior, but I remembered that being more of an outlier. COD 1 really showed up. This level really feels like we're bringing it back to basics. It feels like an homage to the old GoldenEye days of being a single man against an army, corridor shooting our way to victory. Take a look at that. It felt incredible to look at. And the fact that this was all in one map, no loading screen between the upper and lower sections, really gives this level a sense of place. From atop the dam, you can see the lower end where we finish. The sense of progress here is unmatched anywhere else in the game. This is straight up COD 4, or maybe I should say COD 4 was straight up calling back to the first one, down to a destroyed bridge and everything. We made it! The origin of the turret section. This section right here is responsible for so much. I mean, remember in that one level in Battlefield 1 where we did the exact same thing here, but alone and strangely bulletproof armor? Yeah, I do too, and I think about it at least once a year. They had to put that warning in there as too many playtesters would shoot their ride and they couldn't find a way to naturally make sure players didn't. Gamers wouldn't make it in the military because we shoot and ask questions later. Even in this playthrough, I often shot my allies because they simply walked around a corner in front of me. Fitting, Sergeant Waters is our boat guide for this trip. Infinity Ward is so cute, quirky, and creative. My intelligence has been stumped, chat. I know this is Morse code, but it cannot for the life of me get it translated. If anyone is versed in this, could help the community out and drop what price signal to these fellows down below.
Wo ist Fregattenkapitän Schmidt?
Musste zu einem dringenden Treffen mit Admiral Dönitz.
We're all brothers and sisters in binds now, thief.
Does it get more GoldenEye than this, guys? I love that the American campaign was focused more on the struggle and triumphs of a unit working together than the British on the special ops objectives. Oh, Order 227. An order with so much mythos surrounding it, I even got it wrong in my Black Ops 1 video. This 1984 looking poster, one-paging the order, gets us right into the vibe of the USSR.
There will be no mercy for defeatists, cowards, or traitors.
When I talked about no shame with COD 1, I freaking meant it. This is straight up ripped beat for beat from Enemy at the Gates, myths and all. And you know what? I'm fine with it. It makes for among the most memorable moments in a COD game and gets across the difference between how the Allies and the USSR handled their troops. Compare this boat ride in to the one at the Normandy landing on how it's presented in media. But Mr. GamingWins, wasn't the USSR a part of the Allies? Why single them out? Is he though? I joke because though the idea that the USSR would send soldiers in a line with nothing but ammo ready to collect their fallen comrades' weapons was a myth, the ethos of the myth holds true of the USSR putting their men through the meat grinder. There's a reason they say the USSR paid for the war in blood, which is also a massive oversimplification of the efforts contributed to the war by all. It's a time in history so massively complicated that we can't possibly try and wrap our minds around it today, and only those who were there can truly understand. We do our best through easy to understand phrases and myths to get a sliver of an idea of what the time was like, and we still fail at that. I fear the forgetting of our history more and more every day, and appreciate all those who strive to keep us educated on this important piece of world history. On another note, I got something for you.
No retreat! Kill them! Kill the deserters!
Anyone else feel like running?
Of course we weren't given a rifle. I love it. Switching up the gameplay formula because, like, what are we supposed to do with no gun? I imagine with Medal of Honor Allied Assault just doing the D-Day landing, Infinity Ward felt that they couldn't, so they just grabbed the next best thing, so to speak. It's just Red D-Day out here.
Wait for them to change out their barrels!
Those of you who might not know, gun barrels get hot when you fire through them. With enough ammunition and a long enough belt, you can melt through a gun's barrel. To keep these nests suppressive, there would be barrels on standby to swap out to continue fire. Love that attention to detail.
For Mother Russia, comrades! Do not turn your back on her! Victory or Sovngarde!
Each of the main campaigns have such a different vibe to them as well, and captures the different theaters so perfectly. The rolling hills in France, the mountainous Alps and Special Ops, and now war-torn Stalingrad. It's a short campaign to begin with, so it would be hard to get stale, but COD 1 moves so quickly between locales that you're always seeing something new. What impresses me so much about playing through COD 1 is just how much the gunplay feels like modern COD, still at its core. They really nailed that quick, snappy gunplay on the first try. Quickscoping feels just as good as it does in later titles. Flicking around and reload canceling and ADSing all feels as clean as any modern title. No jank to be found, which is why we can still find a multiplayer audience for this game to this day. You know what's up. The required COD snow level has its home here as well. I wish COD kept its commitment to vehicles throughout the whole franchise. It was always so fun to jump in a tank and rip ass. A great way to bring this campaign to a close, though, as just raising the bar on how exciting things can get.
The V1, and now the V2 rockets. These rockets, although some of the most advanced weapons of the war, are too inaccurate to hit military targets.
So it's really just a big Panzerfaust. Though impressive, these rockets were just that. The V2 is more remembered for its advancements in rocketry than its wartime effectiveness. But its iconic status is what made it a paramount target for COD 1 and its finale. Remember, we're here for the vibes, and nothing has the best vibes than one of the few actually realized German wonder weapons in the V2. I love how this final mission with the V2s cross-cut between the British and Americans with the joint operation. For as American wash as World War II can get at times, I really appreciate COD's 1 dedication to giving us multiple points of view for the conflict. I love that we end this campaign with the most symbolic ending to the war. The raising of the Soviet flag is one of the most iconic images ever taken in regards to World War II, and getting to play a part in it is awesome. Seeing the recreation of the Reichstag is truly impressive. Comparing it to the one in World at War, it's so neat seeing it here just in a low-fi version. Fighting through the Parliament floor to the top of the glass dome is just so freaking cool. And here in COD 1, it's not us who gets to raise the flag. This is indicative of the theme that these early CODs focus on, which is just being another soldier in the war versus more modern COD where Sam Worthington shooting JFK. See, and who said COD hasn't changed?
Although I could not understand anything he said, I felt this man was my brother. And I think he felt the same.
Contrast the tone of COD 1 versus World at War. Just their main menus clue you into the difference between them. World at War ends as a solemn reminder of the tragedy of the war, and COD 1 ends bittersweet, celebrating the camaraderie between soldiers and the hope that the world would now find coming out of the war. I find it so interesting the vast canyon between these games, telling stories from the same period, just how different they can be, how much framing can change how we perceive the conflict. I ended COD 1 with a warm feeling and pride, but when I finished World at War, I felt empty and indulgent. There's really not much left I have to say about COD 1. It's one of the best entries to kick off a franchise that exists. It set out and achieved exactly what it wanted to do, and that was kill Medal of Honor. Does that make me sad? A little, honestly, because I always found Medal of Honor games hitting different than COD campaigns. COD started following a formula that worked, where Medal of Honor seemed to always switch it up from game to game on what their approach was. It was the game that, for better or worse, started it all, and I'm seriously impressed with just how polished and fun this first outing was. I wish I played this growing up, because what a treat. And I bet you regular viewers are probably asking yourself, really? Another COD game? Why? There are so many games you could cover that are so worth your time, and you're right. I want to cover those games, but as you may have noticed from my upload cadence, that it's been a difficult time getting videos produced. So I had to make the choice, either spending forever in writer's block and trenches, covering games the size of Assassin's Creed Shadows or Expedition 33, the latter of which is a script in the works, but that's a tough one. Or get back on the horse and cover a game I've never played, yet could handle with where things are for me currently. Life has been a whirlwind, and there is only so much time in the day and so much I feel like I can offer you guys. Doing this since 2021 has been crazy. It doesn't feel like it's been that long, but we've got over 100 videos here for you to enjoy, and I love what we've built here. But after creating so many videos with the same format, it can be tough to try and keep it fresh. I've been stuck writing on different videos, and I just needed to create something. Not think about it or overanalyze and ask myself, am I going to do this game justice? Expedition 33 has been a pain point in that regard, and I just needed to prove myself that I could still do this. To get back on the horse and just write for you guys. I'm saying all this just to give an update on the channel as to why the uploads have slowed down, but also maybe you could take something out of it. It's okay to move on a bit and embrace change when the thing you've been doing for so long just isn't working or bringing you joy anymore. YouTube has been one of the most blessed things that has ever happened to me, and so many people would kill for the opportunity I have, but nothing can last forever, nor should it. This isn't me retiring or closing the channel or anything, but with where my goals are in the future, I've got to do what's best for me and start just focusing on games that excite me to cover. For so long, I've just chased what I've thought you guys have wanted to see, and for a good time, that has done well for me, but that has led to burnout and dissatisfaction. You're probably thinking, why the hell cover another COD game? Two reasons. One, I felt like I could handle it. Two, I've never played COD 1, and going back to see these older titles excites me. I'm really looking forward to covering Kingdom Hearts, GTA San Andreas, and maybe if I'm feeling crazy, Final Fantasy X. Older titles have really been getting me going. Those of you who stick around for my conclusions, thank you. there is a dramatic drop off once the main section of the video is over, so I know only the people that care about the channel as a whole are still listening. And to those of you still here, I just want to thank you. You're the ones I'm making these videos for anymore. I'm excited to read your comments and make these videos for you when I can, in a fashion that makes sense for the continued health of the channel. YouTube channels are viewed as, if they're not growing, they're dying. But why can't we just be content with what we have? I'm happy with the audience that have settled with me here on the channel and look forward to the release of GTA 6. That is going to be a one big video, but I digress. Thank you all so much for continuing to support and watch my content. And I just want to leave you with one more thing. Drive the speed limit, drink some water, and love one another. Pizza.